It looks like we're live. Just popped up. Welcome and shalom on this Saturday evening, last day of the week on April 29, 2023. Hope y'all had a good day. I was having a Sabbath rest, just chilling today. No work, just rest. Went for a nice little walk though. Really nice walk in my yard, and it's getting nice out. We had little breaks of sun, and it was kind of nice for a minute there. Anyway, spring is here. Totally digging it. I'm pulling my chat up real quick. Muting on mute. Anyway, I hope you're having a great weekend. In the middle of the weekend. Let's see. There's really only one day that is the weekend day. It's Saturday, but anyway. I worked a 9 to 5 for many years, and the weekend was golden to me. Every second of it. You know, it was a bummer on Sunday nights. There used to be a show that came on. It was a Minnesota show right after the news, and hearing it bummed me out meant the weekend was over. It's 10:30 on Sunday night. I used to live for the weekend, so, and a lot of times I even worked the weekends on a second job. So. Well, hey, green salutations to you too, Grace. How you doing tonight? Come on in. Our brains are open. Our minds are open. But yeah, it was a beautiful day, a little chilly, but the sun popped out a few times, and yeah, went for a nice walk with the doggies. Yes, I did have a wonderful Sabbath. Didn't do too much. Slept in late. We had something to eat. We went for a walk. Even took a little nap this afternoon. And talked to my dad. That's always nice. I talked to my dad on the phone. And that's about it. It was a chill day. Not doing too much. I think tomorrow, though, I have to go into town at some point. I got to get some crunchy dog food because they like that at the bottom of their meal. So I always get, they have like pie tins, you know what I mean? They all have a pie tin, a metal pie tin, but they're big, nice ones. And I always put crunchy food at the bottom, their dog food. And then I put like rice and vegetables and meat and gravy or sauce or whatever, all the other stuff on top of it. And so if they don't have the crunchies at the bottom, I think they feel ripped off. Plus, it's got a lot of the nutrients and stuff that they need. So. Anyway, they're out of crunchies. So I think tomorrow I might venture into town. You did too? About 10-mile walk. Kitten is over. If she's exhausted? Really? You know you walked long when even the dog is exhausted. Yeah. 10 miles, that's a lot. To me, that would be all the way to town and about maybe less than a quarter of the way back. 7.5 miles to town. Or should I say 7.7? 17. Anyway, that's good. It's nice, and isn't it nice to get back out, get some fresh air? We've had a long winter in Minnesota, you guys. Grace lives in Minnesota. We have had a long winter, very long winter, a lot of snow. Kind of, well, it's just not been good. Anyway, it's nice to get some fresh air and not have to go back in because it's so cold. She played hard today. Got to play with her BFF halfway through our walk. That's nice. That's nice. Nice to have friends. Yep, the three of my dogs play together non-stop all day. I don't know how it would be to have one dog, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm not that I'm saying that I don't know how it is, because I had Spencer. Well, when me and Dave met, I had different dogs, but then when we were together, I got Spencer and he got the German Shepherd Bella, and that dog lived a long time. But anyway, Dave passed away. Then a few years later, Bella passed away, and so me and Spencer went solo with only just him for years before we got Frank the Tank, and Frank was okay, but he fought with Bella, and anyway, my friend Randy took Frank, but I went years with just Spencer, and he was, I didn't even, he got to where he was kind of weirded out by dogs since he got attacked when he was a baby. And so then we got Sprout as a puppy. And as a puppy, Spencer loved having that puppy. And yeah, they were BFFs, man. And I don't know. In fact, then I wondered, why did I go so many years with just Spencer? You know what I mean? Because he liked having a buddy, especially when I'm gone all day. You know what I mean? I've been considering another dog, but we're making vacation plans. Yeah, that's not a good time to get a dog, that's for sure. Yeah, I know one thing. I had two puppies 2 years ago, almost, and they're a lot of work to train, and you really gotta clear your plate in order to deal with the puppies. Although I will say, having the other dogs helps the puppy, because the puppy just follows the crew outside, and the puppy learns how to go to potty when the other dogs go potty. That's a good thing about having another dog, is that it trains the next one what to do. Like Spencer trained Sprout perfect. It's so funny because I got a picture of my son was packing the dirt outside with the packing machine. It was really dangerous. And Sprout was young and he was barking at the thing. And Spencer was going over and trying to get Sprout away from him because he was being annoying. It was so cool. And now it's the other way around. Now Sprout sees that the little one's being annoying and he's doing the same thing. It's like now he's the older one. But yeah, if you have another dog, they can train the other dogs behind it. You know what I mean? Like ringing the bell to go out. The other dogs, the puppy sees the other dog ring the bell to go out. No, they know ring the bell to go out. So another dog can be really good for training, training the new one. They don't even have to say anything. Just follow the leader. That's tough when a dog gets attacked. It changes their behavior towards the other dog. Yep, for sure. Ken's BFF was attacked, which is why they haven't seen each other in nearly a year. Yeah, when Spencer was young, this lady just let her dog pounce on him. And I jumped, like, try to lay on him like a blanket, you know what I mean? And I'm like, what the heck? And yeah, he just never really wanted to be around dogs. But yeah, getting a puppy though, no problem. Border collies are the best at training youngsters, especially from farm pups. Yeah, yeah, they're super smart. But yeah, your older dog, now Kitten, will train the puppy. I mean, like, this is how we go out, and this is, and then here's where you go potty, and I mean, um, yeah, I ended up with 3, so I don't know. But anyway, so how was your day, Grace? As you know, I took it easy. You took a walk. I took a walk. I really didn't watch too much of YouTube. I kind of took a nap. I was going to, but I saw a video, and 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 something is dawning on me. Like, something is dawning on me about, because I've been looking at like, because I pretty much know the ins and out of the Bible, and of course studying like the ancient history at that time. Like I said, always in the anyway, and of course all the false gods that they had, all the false gods that they were worshiping at the time, and then ancient religions before that, like where the Old Testament actually, some of it comes from Mesopotamia, which is like Job, Jonah, the story of the flood. What else? I can't remember. Maybe the Ten Commandments. I can't remember, but I've noticed that a lot of religions have certain things in common. And what I really like is the wisdom of the Buddhist. I've gotten more wisdom out of the Buddhists, words of wisdom, than probably I've learned in my whole life. Just out of a 5-minute story, life-changing, game changer. Also, Wally Brown, the Native American elder that teaches the Native American way and their their beliefs and all that. And I'm noticing that there's things that overlap in different religions. And remember, we even went over like, what does different religions believe after like after you die? What do different religions believe happens after you die? What does different religions believe about this or believe about that? You start to see that there's like a thread that, hey D, how you doing tonight? Welcome. Hope you had a great day. You'll see that there's like a lot of commonalities in different religions, and not only like, okay, so I would like listen to the Navajo teaching. Okay, so today I listened to a Navajo teaching on things to never ever do ever. They got a lot of good teachings. And anyway, so they have things that you should never ever do. And I was reading the comments section, and there was a few of these things that you should never ever do that are common in other religions. People were in the comment section were saying, hey, that's the same in our religion, or that's the same in our religion. And I'm not just talking about like things that you would automatically think of like be kind to others, treat others the way you want to be treated. Those are obvious. Those are, you know, any decent religion's going to have that. Treat other people with respect and kindness and gentleness, and love your neighbor and love each other, and forgiveness and all that kind of stuff. It's good stuff that's common. But there's some weird, like out in left field kind of stuff. Like there's no way that and I'm not saying left field disrespect, but I'm saying like stuff that you wouldn't even never think of. Like not just, I'm just saying like very specific, um, very specific teachings that I would say, wow, I've never heard that. But then people in different religions say, yeah, we have that in our religion too. And I'm thinking, wow. I went to a Buddhist temple for a while in Charleston, South Carolina. It was interesting. Yeah, I bet. They got a lot of wisdom, don't they, Dee? Like I say, life-changing wisdom that you can learn in 5 minutes. Yeah, how was your meeting today, Dee? And you know what I learned? Speaking of Buddhists, you know what I just learned this week? I learned that, you know how Buddhists, they try to reach the Zen or whatever, they're, what do they call it, Dee? They try to reach that level of Zen, or what is it? That, you know, that, oh, you didn't go, you're going to go tomorrow? All right. But there's a certain level, that the top level that they reach. I think it's, I don't know if it's called Zen or whatever it's called. Anyway, yes, Nirvana. Thank you. Thank you. Couldn't think of it. Okay, so they reach Nirvana. Okay, it's like yes, thank you, D. I knew you figured you'd know. So they reach this top level of enlightenment, okay? And a lot of things like happen when they reach that. And so there's a lot of people like the monks or whatever that, and D would know if this is true or whatever, if I'm getting it wrong, but the way I understand it is like there's certain students of learning or whatever that get to almost that level, almost nirvana, but they don't want to get to nirvana. They get right to it, but not at it, because they want to peek out there and then be teachers from there on out. Is that right? But anyway, if you do obtain nirvana, you do get to the top level of enlightenment, you actually get to see your past lives. Is that true, Dee? If you went there, you'd probably know some of this stuff. So is that true? So when they reach nirvana, like amongst all these other benefits, anyway, because, you know, of this level and the levels of teaching, just go. And the Buddhists treat, hey, John, good to see you tonight. And the Buddhists treat others with kindness and acceptance, unlike other religions. You're right, John. You're right. In fact, I'm going to even mention that tonight. You're right. You're right, John. Good to see you. Shalom to you too. You never talked about past lives? Yeah. Well, I just I was listening to some Buddhist stuff today. That's what they were saying. You get some kind of a glimpse into your past life, or what you were reincarnated from. Yeah, good to see you. Yes. And that's another thing. And you know, I know people think that Christians are supposed to be kind to each other, but a lot of times they're not. They're very nasty. And a lot of religions, like, can you imagine like a Buddhist or a monk or any of those people going up to somebody and arguing with them over their beliefs? I mean, it would never ever happen. I didn't go for very long. Traffic was starting to get crazy there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can, yeah, just learn this stuff online. I think some other cultures, religions do as well, don't they? Um, you mean reach the nirvana thing, or okay? So I'm gonna read off. I'm gonna say a quick prayer, and then I'm gonna read off things that the elder of the Navajo said to never ever do, and and that you won't believe that there's other religions you've probably maybe been a part of or whatever, but they are, and they say, hey, that's our religion too. Zen, Nirvana, Enlightenment, yeah. And I'm going to tell you, you can listen to just a few of those Buddhist wisdom messages, 5-minute messages, life-changing. I mean, wisdom. Heavenly Father, thank you for gathering us this evening. We thank you for the Sabbath rest. We thank you for always providing our needs and providing fellowship. And we thank you for all of our blessings every day. Praise to you. Thank you for hearing our prayers. Amen. All right, so I'm going to read some things that this Navajo elder said to never, ever do in their culture. And this ended up to be the same in other religions that I saw. I read the comment section, and I noticed that there's so many comments. It was like a 2-year-old video, so I think. Anyway, there was a lot of comments. So he said, okay, so one of the things that you never ever do in the Navajo religion, but is you never mock or make fun of a Native American ceremony. Like if maybe if you see somebody not doing it right, or making mistakes or whatever, something you don't like about it, they say to each other, anyway, but a lot of people chimed in the comment section, and they'd say, I grew up this religion, I grew up that religion. My parents always taught me never to mock other religions. And a lot of people said that. I grew up, this religion or that religion. Different religions were saying the same thing. Never mock somebody else's religion. But the Native Americans were saying, don't ever mock our ceremonies. I honor the place of love, light, truth, and peace, when you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me. All of us are one. I agree. Amen to that, John. And it is, and it really is about love, light, happiness, because, and the Bible does touch on that, here and there. But there's a lot of words in the Bible that are just not of wisdom. There are some gems in there, and that's one of them. There is no light and darkness at the same time. It's a light switch. It's either on or it's off. You can't have light, you can't have dark together, And as a matter of fact, the natives were saying that they're not allowed to speak about evil things. They can't speak about evil things because it opens, portals or some kind of bad juju stuff. But anyway, they're not even allowed in a lot of their cultures to even speak of evil. So never mock other people's religion or their ceremonies. And here's a big one. That ended up to be in a lot of people's religions. Oops. That's better than my body is a temple, Lord. John, I think he invented his own religion, to be honest. I think those are the Hardyites. Yeah, that is funny. That's a classic, man. That's a classic. As a matter of fact, guess what he said the other day, or maybe today? He said one time he had thousands of spirits coming out of him, and that was that video. The Dust Bowl. Someone gets me in. Yeah, it gets me in. Somebody get me an umbrella. Yeah, that's a classic right there, man. That's a classic. All right, so here is another thing that the Navajos say to never ever do, but it's not just the Navajos. Lots of people in the comment section says our religion says that too. Our religion says that too. Anyway, one thing you never ever do, and again, yeah, right. Yeah, so I've heard, John. I've heard that by eyewitnesses, those witnesses. One thing you never ever do, the Navajos will warn you, but it's in multiple religions. I never got taught this. Our Christians never get taught this, so. But almost all other religions learn this. Never ever whistle at night. Do you know that? Never ever whistle at night, because you will draw the enemy, just like as if you were in war. The whistle would give you away. Well, the whistle gives you away to evil spirits. So if you whistle at night, you will attract the evil spirits. You might even attract your own death. And you know what? I scrolled through the comments as I was reading them. There was a Japanese, somebody says, we're in Japanese culture, we are also forbidden to whistle at night because it draws in evil spirits and maybe death. So Japanese believe the exact same thing. And I'm scrolling down and looking, and here somebody says, my dad grew up in South Africa. They were forbidden to whistle at night because it attracts demons. So almost, you wouldn't believe the religions, African, Japanese, Native American, all agree, do not whistle at night. It attracts demons and even death. Because, yeah, very interesting. The comment sections are really gold mines. You know what I mean? But a lot of these crossed over in different religions. But that was a big one. Then whistling at night. Never heard it. It attracts the evil one. And evil falls upon you when you whistle at night. And it's so weird. So yeah, Japanese people said that's the same in their culture. And so did Africans. And I can't remember the rest. And then another one in the Navajo was, you're never to, brother and sister are never to make contact, touch, which that might avoid a few problems, right? And then other religions say, and they're saying never ever, never contact your brother or sister, contact, touching, but. And no matter, like even just putting your hand on or handshake, anything. And then other religions said we have the same thing, but you can do it. You can touch your brother and sister, but brother and sister can touch in a sign of affection, or if like the one is feeding the other is a baby, holding the baby or whatever, but never like in wrestling or roughhousing. And a brother is never to strike the sister. There's going to be big problems. So there is a Native American man who on occasion will stand outside my son's house singing. I'm not sure what the ceremony is for, but people know not to interrupt him. Yep, for sure. Oh, yeah, you're never supposed to interrupt our ceremony too. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah. And it's probably, a lot of times it's when somebody died. Remember, you guys, I had at my last house, I had the big woods behind my house, and on the other side of the woods was a Native American sweat lodge and a Native American community where they lived. And I told you guys, I would hear hi, and like a ceremony, and I'd sneak through the woods. Me and Spencer would sneak through the woods and look, and Yeah, it was a weird, and they had a sweat lodge. And then one time I was leaving the grocery store and this woman had a bunch of groceries and it was pouring rain. And she said, "Excuse me." And I said, "What?" She said, "Anyway, you could give me a ride to my house. I don't live very far." And I said, well, she asked if I could give her a ride home. And I'm like, "Well, where do you live?" And she said, "Just down the block." And I said, "Okay." So put the groceries in. We put our groceries in my vehicle, and then I drove her, and it's not far. It was right almost. I only lived a few blocks from the store. And anyway, I'm like, she said, I said, "Where do you live?" She said, "In the Native Americans." I said, "Really?" I said, "I'm in the woods. That's my woods behind you guys. Um, I hear the ceremonies and stuff." And anyway, she said, "Yeah." I said, "So who lives there?" And she said, "Well, mostly Native Americans, but like by law, they have to let a few white people live there." It's just weird. Anyway, um, but only the natives. I said, "Well, what about that sweat lodge thing you got there, the little teepee thing?" I said, "Who gets to go in there?" And she said, "Well, just the natives can go in there. The white people can't." I said, "Well, what's the what's the sounds and the pounding and the ceremonies and stuff? What's that noise or what's that sound?" I always hear it. I said, "On occasion I'll hear it." She said, "That's when somebody dies." She said, "We have like a party or whatever. They have music and actually they even would have drawings because I hear the hi that'd stop and then it'd be like somebody on a microphone. "Okay, we had the next drawing. Sally Johnson." Anyway, they would have like drawings and stuff, and I say, I would hear like the drawings. Anyway, she explained that that's when somebody dies. It's like a sending off ceremony thing. That's probably usually what I hear. Anyway, which is interesting. Anyway, I gave her a ride, dropped her off, and it was a nice little ride. I always wondered stuff, and so in that little ride from giving her a ride from the store to there, I asked her all the questions I ever had until she got up. Um, anyway, so it might be when somebody dies, Grace, because that's what I asked. How come sometimes you have that thing and then you have a drawing and stuff? She answered all my questions, and she said, "Yeah, even white people can live there. Only a couple. It's like they have to or something." Anyway, so another thing, never ever. Now this is through lots and lots of cultures and lots of religions. And Christianity, I never heard of it. It might ring a bell with some of you guys, but it does not in the older New Testament. In our religion or whatever, not I don't want to say our religion. And I should say in the Bible, believe in the Bible. This is not in the Bible, but almost every other culture believes this. Never ever stand in a doorway. And this was really interesting in the comment section. He's saying because like in a teepee or in the sweat lodge or the teepee, there's only one way in and one way out. And and it was in a way it's a portal. Doorways are portals. Thresholds are portals. And I saw all the religions chime in on this, no matter who they were. And so in the Native Americans, they said never stand in the doorway, blocking and being an obstacle for, because if there might be danger inside, then there might be danger outside. And if you're in the doorway, you're at risk because you're risking everybody. You're risking those on the inside, you're risking those on the outside. Never ever stand in the doorway. It's a threshold. And blocking it is forbidden. And then other cultures and other religions were chiming in, and they said, "You know what? Doorways are portals, and in your own home." And get this, you guys, this I thought was mind blowing. So in your home, and isn't it weird that when you get married, you carry the bride over the threshold? Isn't that weird? I don't know. I haven't thought about that. But isn't it weird that you carry the bride over the threshold? But the threshold The threshold is a big one. So when you go from one room to the other, you're entering almost different dimensions in your own home. Not like, oh, you're in the Twilight Zone. Maybe, not usually though. And that's why, have you ever gone from your room here and gone to another room to go get something? Say you're going to go get a pair of scissors or something. So you leave and you go in the other room to get the scissors, and you go get in the other room and you don't remember what you got in there for. Can't even remember what you went in there for. And so I always had to go back to the place where I thought of the idea, and then the idea came back. Hey, you're getting the scissors. Oh yeah. And then I go back. Scissors, 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 so I don't forget it. And that's why you will forget something from going to one room to the other. And then a lot of people had something to say about that too. So when you go from one room to the other and you're forgetting something, the person said that they are, I don't know if they were Navajo or what they were, but I can't remember what their beliefs were, but they said that is a sign. When that happens, if you forget something, when you go from one room to the other, you got to reconnect yourself, or whatever he said. You got to reground yourself, because what that means is that day that happens, you are being influenced too much by outside sources. You understand? So like, if I can't hold a thought from this room into the next room through a doorway, if I can't go through a doorway without remembering my thought, and I have to go back to the doorway to where I got it and then go back again, that means I'm being influenced by too many outside things that day. You mean? So like, things in that room are influencing me, things in this room, you know what I mean? So anyway, that was a really interesting. There are a lot of people had something to say about the doorway, standing in the doorway. You're either in or you're out, you know what I mean? But it made me think of the threshold, you know what I mean? I'm trying to read your comment here. Oops. I grew up close to a reservation, so I heard, oops. Dang, this thing's touchy. Grew up close to reservations, so I heard those drums frequently. First time I heard them, I thought we were being invaded. TV program for us. I know. That's always kind of creeped me out at first, because that's what we were programmed. If you hear them drums, you're going to be attacked and scalped. Well, really, it was the other way around. They were scalping the natives. I loved going to the powwow, though. Yeah. Oops. The Janus effect, going through doorways, not remembering what you're doing. Janus, the god of doorways. Really? Well, there's something about it. There's another belief. And that's probably Greek Roman or something. So you got like every kind of cultures and every kind of religions and stuff warning about the doorways, and but not Christianity. No, I never heard of it. Anyway, never heard of the whistling at night in Christianity either. Or you know what else? You know, here in Christianity, not to mock other religions, do you? In fact, you're encouraged to do the opposite. Tell other religions that they're going to burn forever. So the Christianity does not tell you not to mock other religions. Contrary, they never tell you not to whistle at night. They don't tell you not to touch your sister. And as a matter of fact, they're marrying their sisters, aren't they? Never stand in a doorway. Nope, didn't hear that in Christianity. And you know what? So the not standing in the doorway, and then there's little offshoots to that. There's little there's like branches that branch off. That one of the branches that branch up, when you there's an old saying in different cultures and different cultures that say, don't stand in the way of people who know what they're doing. Don't stand in the doorway of people who know what they're doing. That's another doorway one. So that I can't remember. There's other doorway ones, but there's like offshoots of the doorway. There's lots of bad about standing in the door. And I just think, oh, that's weird. I wonder what they think about carrying the bride over the threshold. You know what I mean? And here's the last one. Never ever mark your body permanently, especially cutting, because cutting, like tattoos, is what they're talking about. And I've heard about all kinds of YouTube videos of people telling about what, tattoos and all that. Because the Native Americans will put like markings on their face and stuff when they do temporary markings like ash or whatever it is. They'll mark their body temporarily for prayer and offering, like worship and offering, prayer and offering during their offerings, whatever. But they leave it on for 4 days, and after 4 days, they wash it off. But never permanently, because the tattoo, what it does, it opens a portal in your body. It opens a portal to evil, like, for evil to intercede, evil to enter, whatever. And I saw that there was a nurse and some other medical people agreed that a lot of people will have, like, if people have a arm tattoo, upper arm tattoo, they'll have medical problems, like they'll have a bad shoulder. If one's over their heart, they'll have like heart troubles. So if you have one on your leg, maybe you'll have leg pains. It like opens, like, they also believe it opens to like pain and discomfort and diseases and stuff. Yeah, every culture has their own name for it. Yeah. There are natives who intentionally cut to appear like crocodile skin or whatever, the sign of manhood. Yeah, I think that's in Africa and stuff. Yeah, I don't know if those are Native American Indians that do that, but anyway, they're forbidden to do that. The Navajo is. I don't know. That's what's talking. But yeah, Africa. Yeah, in Africa. Yeah, I've seen those, like in National Geographic. Man, their back look like thousands of little bumps. Even in line, like a grid. Very bizarre. Wonder what they're inviting in. But then again, they do. Some of them are cannibals and stuff like that too. So I think some of them might be maybe suffering from that, doing that. I don't know. I wouldn't want to. There was like, oh, who was it? Was it Rockefeller? I think it was David Rockefeller's son. That richest man. What is he? Did he die? Or is he? It's like at 101. Anyway, you're gonna know who I meant. Rockefeller. His son. Back in like the early 60s, I think, I can't remember. I'm trying to find it. His son, Rockefeller, I'm pretty sure that's who it was. Went into the jungle, and the natives got him and ate him. Like, okay, your dad is the richest guy in the world, and you end up in a jungle being eaten by cannibals? All right, let me see if I can find it. Son. Cannibals, yeah. Which Rockefeller was eaten by cannibals? Yeah, okay. Michael Rockefeller. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. They tried to sink him in a boat or something. He swam to shore and the natives ate him. Anyway. What Why did the tribe eat Michael Rockefeller? They could absorb the energy and power that had been taken from them. That's weird. The tribe of the white men had killed 4 of them. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I think that's, yeah, there's the guy, but where's the dad? What's his name? Oh, and Rockefeller was a governor? Yeah, what a way to go. Your dad is like, is this Rockefeller's son? Let's see. Yeah. uh, it was 1961. He was only 23 years old. I forgot. I'm pretty sure, there's a few of them older Rockefellers, but I think it's David Rockefeller's son. And sometimes you wonder, is that was that a sacrifice? Because that was 23 years. It'd be interesting. Grace knows who Zach is. It'd be interesting to have Zach do a decode on this. Parents, Nelson Rockefeller. That's who the parents is. Nelson Rockefeller. Yeah. Yeah. It was Nelson Rockefeller's son. And Mary Clark is the mom. He didn't even marry the mom. Yeah. Not David Rockefeller. Because I said there's a few. Yeah. There are hunting stories about how the hunter consumes the deer heart as a rite of passage and later feels the fear and emotions of the deer. Really? Yeah. That is weird, but I totally believe that. Oh, so he was the vice president. Oh, let me guess. Did he when did that guy die? 1960 what? That's probably basically the day he became vice president. This is usually how it happens. 1961. Oh, November, right after election day. Look at November 19. Okay. Let's see when he became governor. All right. So he became governor. Look at that. Wow. So he was. Yeah, right in the middle of his governor term. Isn't that interesting? Right in the middle of his governor's term. Yeah, and actually, so when I used to empty out those houses, I got at one house. I got a bunch of tribal masks. I mean, I didn't think of nothing at the time. That was back in probably 2010. I didn't really know anything about it, but to me, they look cool. They're wooden carved tribal masks, different kinds. One was like a zebra. One was an oval. They're very expensive, like made out of like walnut. And anyway, I put them all over my wall. I had my whole house look like a gift shop, whatever, which it doesn't anymore. I'm opposite that now. But anyway, I used to put all that stuff, and I figured, well, if I want to sell it sometime, I will. But anyway, I read up on masks, and I was horrified that like the mask, they would actually like put on a mask of somebody that died, or even an animal, to take on that personality, that persona. As a matter of fact, remember when the pandemic came or whatever, we studied about masks, and that came up then too. That mask actually literally means persona or whatever, didn't it? So like when you put on a mask, you get a different personality, just like those weird weirdo Hollywood parties. What are they called where they all put a mask and they don't know who each other are and they do creepy things? Oh, what's the name? I think they had a movie about it. What's that called when they put the mask on and they go to the parties and you don't know who the other person is? Then they all do weird, creepy stuff. Anyway, yeah, that mask stuff goes deep. Yeah, when we were looking up the meaning of words, take on the persona, exactly. That's exactly what it's to take on the persona, take on the personality of whoever that mask represents. So if it's a tiger or something, you put that on, you become the tiger. If it's sometimes they will have a mask of a great warrior, somebody who died in war and they were so brave, like the bravest people known for dying in war. They would have his face and they'd put that mask on and try to get his persona, get his fighting warrior personality of a famous person that died in battle or whatever. Yeah, it is weird. And you know what? It worked because when people put that mask on, they became different people, didn't they? You should do the etiology of locust so everyone can see what locust is. Really? I'll type it up. But when people put those masks on, they became, that's when the Karens came out. That's when they turned the coin Karen. Because people got all crazy. Their personality changed and they were mean and got mean and ugly, some of them. And that's where they came up with that. Locust. Lobster. Look at that. That is weird. I don't know. I'm probably not I'm probably not looking this up right. Or that's okay to eat. Locust. It comes from the word lobster, I think. Right here, locust, lobster, sea lobsters, Latin for lobster. Locust is Imagine if they had instead of a locust invasion, you know, when the locusts invaded Egypt, what if those are lobsters that invaded Egypt and not locusts? That'd be scary. A lot scarier than no. Yeah. The root word of locust means lobster. Dun, dun, dun. Weird. Locust, lobster. And guess what? In the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, there are 9 different names for insect, and one of them is locust, which actually means lobsters. So was that a lobster invasion in Egypt? That'd be worse than the frogs, because listen, they had the frogs, right? Frogs invaded. They were everywhere. They said they went in people's houses, went into their homes, went to different rooms, went in the bedroom, and went on their beds. Frogs were everywhere. You can't step anywhere when there's frogs. All the frogs just came out of the pond around here. And you should hear, they all are really super loud. I was on the phone with somebody that could hear them. Fish do not have shells. Yeah. Well, they're telling you in the Hebrew Bible, it says that lobsters are unclean, but locusts are clean. So if a locust and a lobster is the same thing, then that don't make sense, does it? No. Past that fishy skillet, yep. You guys want to come up and chat? Grace, John, D, or anybody else that's listening, you want to come up and chat? Come in, we're open. If you tell me you want to come up and chat, I'll put that link up in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Yes, lobster. And like I say, that mandate, the mask mandate, everybody thought that meant it was a rule or a law. No. A mandate gives you official permission to break a law. You're eating a late dinner. I hope it's good. I had tacos today. They're delicious. I also made meatloaf for today. I made it yesterday. I really didn't feel like having that. I had leftover tacos instead. That was really good. I'm always up for tacos. Lobster's a sea spider. So what does that make locust? A land spider. Wow. Yeah, how could it be okay to eat a bug anyway? Spaghetti? Ooh. You know what? Speaking of spaghetti, you know what I did? I don't know if I've ever done it. Maybe when in my 20s, but I made a big mistake. I made a big mistake. I made spaghetti the other day, and instead of putting garlic powder in when I was cooking the meat, salt, pepper, garlic powder, I put garlic salt in it. And I made all the spaghetti. Cooked the meat, then I put the base in there and added all the stuff. Added. Got a lot of stuff in the spaghetti. Then I cook the noodles and all that, make a plate, sit down, take a bite, and it is pure salt. Couldn't even stand it. It was so salty. And then I tried to feed myself it, and can't do it. I had to go in the trash. That I used garlic salt. It was so I've never tasted anything that salty. Sometimes it's hard to believe it'd be too salty to eat, but it was too salty to eat. And but I almost had spaghetti a couple days ago, D. Oh, about the bugs, yeah. Yeah. But anyway. But no, is that why you mean you can't come up because you're eating, or but no problem. Spaghetti sounds good. Now I still have I could still make another batch. One thing though I'm mad about, I wasted all the ingredients, but one thing I'm really mad I wasted was my cans of mushrooms. Before COVID, cans of mushrooms was 50 cents a piece. I would get a case of 12 for $6. A case of mushrooms for $6. Now the mushrooms are $1.50 a can, tripled. So instead of 50 cents cans, $1.50 a can. A case would be what? I don't even know. $20? I don't know. A lot, too much. But yeah, too salty. I love mushrooms too. I love it, especially I love it on steak. I love mushrooms on steak. I love mushrooms on pizza. I love mushrooms in lasagna, spaghetti, anything Italian. Yep, I do too. I only like the canned mushrooms. I don't like those dried out fresh ones. When I order for new pizza place, I always say, they want, what do you want on your pizza? I want green olives and mushrooms, but what kind of mushrooms you have? We have canned. Well, that's what I want, the canned ones. I don't like those dried out. Not even sure what they are. Those white dried out ones, don't like that. Pass. My daughter accidentally confused the turmeric for cinnamon on her cinnamon toast once. Really? Actually, yeah, turmeric, huh? Yeah. I switched up the pepper and the cinnamon not that long ago. I can't remember what I put it in. I think I put the pepper on my toast. Can't remember. I had the same shakers, and yeah, you gotta get different shakers if they're not. These are clear too, and you could see it without my glasses. Looked the same to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did it with pepper, and not only did I did it with pepper, but yeah, it was like. I'm just reading your comments real quick. Those things are really hard without getting it up on the screen. Oh shoot! Looks like John left scene too. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get off here too pretty soon. I'm gonna do a few things. My after Sabbath dishes. I really didn't dirty anything a plate, but I do have a video I'm gonna work on. You love artichokes, so I don't think I've ever had an artichoke. I don't think I've ever had an artichoke. Artichoke. Not sure what that is. Don't feel bad. I was washing dishes and putting them away the other day and mysteriously discovered the milk in the cabinet. Brother, dear, the milk belongs to. Artichoke is delicious too. I didn't even know what that is. I never had it. I don't think. Let me see what it looks like. Artichoke. Oh, that thing? I never had that. What do you do with it? Cook it? Put butter on it? What? How to cook and eat an artichoke? That was funny. The first thing that came up. Flavor is slightly nutty flavor. Just had artichokes for the first time recently. Did you? You bake it? How did you have it, Grace? She bakes it. What do you do? Cut it up or what? Never had one. You could probably steam it. Was it like a baked potato or something? I find the texture and flavor to be similar to bamboo shoots. I actually like those when they're in chow mein. I wouldn't eat a bowl of them, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, I never had one. And it's kind of weird how like Americans got taught, coming from different countries, got taught not to eat the good stuff. You know what else is really good? Good for you is that ginger root. But even better than ginger root is dried ginger root, because something happens when you dry it. Yeah, that thing looks weird, but when you cut it open, it looks cool. It looks like a little head of lettuce or something. It gets soft once it gets cooked. Then what do you do? Eat it plain or put butter or what? Are artichokes good for your liver? They provide liver support and protection. Can you eat 2 artichokes a day? Eating 2 or 3 per week is recommended. You eat artichokes raw. They're just delicious served raw, just as delicious served raw. It's like a potato or something, huh? How do you eat artichokes? The edible part is located at the base of the petal. What? The petal's not? What do you mean, the edible part's at the base of the petal? Pull off and eat the individual petals from the cooked artichoke, making your way down. Oh, like a little Christmas tree? My mom would dip steamed artichokes in mayo. Really? You can put butter on it, but good plain? Really? Never tried them, you guys. Never did. Grace just tried them for the first time. How'd you try them? Somebody encourage you, Grace, or what? What are the negative side effects of artichokes? Let me guess. Gas, upset stomach, diarrhea. You don't want to eat too much anything's not good. You don't eat the entire leaf? What? Just the stem? Do they come with directions? How or what can I drink to flush my liver? Lemon water, ginger and lemon drink, grapefruit juice, turmeric, green tea, chamomile, oat tea. I just heard oatmeal's bad for you. No, oatmeal's bad for you. My dogs will not eat oatmeal. That always makes me nervous. My dogs don't want to eat something. I can see, onions or lettuce or something, or, certain things, but really, oatmeal. Your brother eats the weirdest. Oh, so he influenced you? That would be good, Grace. Huh. Dip it in mayonnaise, so you only eat the little stem? And then you have a pile of the leaf parts? What happens if you eat the whole thing? More gas, more diarrhea. What's the healthiest way to eat artichokes? I'm guessing steam them. Pull the leaves off the artichoke and scrape off the meaty part with your teeth. What's the meaty part? Some people choose to peel away the petals of the artichoke and only eat the center or the heart. Really? So some people pluck all the petals off and only eat the stem. I like oatmeal, but really, yeah. I like it with brown sugar sometimes. When should you not eat artichokes? There's an open hole in the center and the leaves are loose. Oh, that's bad. Yeah. Excuse me. You eat the part of the leaf that is the closest to the stem. You can eat, and you can eat the heart. Oh, okay. Weird. I would not have known that. Can you drink the water after boiling artichokes? Artichoke water can be drunk during the meal, like a real consomme. Should be steamed or boiled. Best way is to boil them, it said. I don't know. Well, there you go. That's like Grace's mom here with the dipping sauce there. See that? You got your dipping sauce there. I don't know what they're using, but looks good. Can you eat the fuzzy part of an artichoke? The hairy choke inside and the sharp, fibrous outer portion of the leaves. The only part you can't eat is the hairy choke inside and the sharp, fibrous portion. The choke is not poisonous, but it is a choking hazard, probably quite aptly named. Oh, that's why they call it the artichoke, because you'll choke on those leaves in the middle part. That's why they that's what they call artichoke. Because you eat too much of the leaf thing, you'll choke. Your mom said the water for plants, it's a good idea. You eat the part of the leaf that's closest, you can eat the heart. You might choke on it. You might Arctic choke. Does it raise your blood pressure? I don't know. Okay, how about for a laxative? Superfood, apple cider. Which fruit's not good for the liver? Raisins and dried fruits. Not good for the liver. That's funny. Isn't that funny? Raisins and dry fruits. Guess who eats lots of dried fruits? Who's got a lot of health issues? Yeah. Actually, I just heard recently that oatmeal is bad for you. I think it'd be healthy, but I don't have it very often because I don't know. Usually I used to eat it with sugar, so when I cut out sugar, it's been over a year now, 13 months. All right, well, I'll probably wrap it up and up here and work on my little project. But anyway, tomorrow back to Ezekiel. Those dry bones. Ezekiel dry bones. Yeah. Never trust anyone with an education. Yeah. All that fancy book learning smart stuff. Bad. Gonna see if I can find a. Well, that sounds like a good plan, D. I'm gonna pray us out and I'm gonna go get off and do some stuff myself. I hope you all have a blessed day tomorrow. I hope it's fun and awesome for everybody. Thank you, Father, for gathering us again tonight. Amen and amen. I hope y'all have a good rest of the evening. D, enjoy your movie. Grace, as always, thanks for coming in, and I'll speak to you soon. And I think that's all there is. Thanks for coming in, John. Good to see John tonight. Yes, so if your religion does not tell you to be kind to others and respect their religion, you might want to rethink what you're doing. Because, yeah, respect other people's beliefs and their religions. Just thinking that yours is the only one that's right is very kind of narcissistic. I don't know. Be blessed, D. Same time and place tomorrow. Yes. Have a great day, D. Enjoy your meeting if you go. Grace, enjoy your day, your evening, everybody. John, thanks for coming in, everybody. God bless you all. If you're listening on the replay, thanks for listening on the replay. God bless each and every one of you. Praise and glory to God. Hallelujah and shalom. And shalom means peace.